Get ready. Get God. Welcome to another exciting episode of And Why Not? The most intelligent white noise here on YouTube if you're doing chores around the house or need something to listen to while you are at work. This is the place to come to. In this live stream, I take full advantage of my First Amendment right, my freedom of thought and speech, so long as if I don't violate the extremely silly guidelines of this current platform. This is episode number 179, and today's date is... What is today's date? Oh! Well, how about that? It's Cinco de Mayo, baby! Yeah, I should have had like some special music playing, you know, for the day. But this is kind of almost a spur of the moment kind of thing. So, you know, with in respect of today's holiday for the Mexicano, we play a little bit of Mexican music in the back. All right. That is to my Mexicanos out there, all right? You like that music? I play it again for you, my. You watch out for La Migra. They coming for you. They coming for you. Okay, hey, let me just make sure the audio is okay. Okay, all right. Sounds good. All right. Before we get started, I want to get started right away. Just jump right into things. Just want to do, my usual shout outs on the side chat. We got Free Grace. Free Grace Frank's in the house. What's going on, baby? Free Grace. We got Servant of Christ. What's going on? We got England. What's happening, baby? Servant of Christ, I owe you one, man. Servant of Christ, we got you. Don't worry, I got you, baby. All right. We got Vickles in the house. No, that's just me. And oh my gosh, yo, we got my boy Sharpening Iron Podcast. What, like, AKA John? What is going on, man? Man, that deserves like an awesome sound effect for that one. Let me see what we got here, man. I should have had this ready for you. This is for you, John. This is for you. This is for you, John. Get down. Everybody get down. John, get down. Oh man, John, it's good to see you. Always a pleasure, man. When you gonna hurry up and get back here to the United States, man? We need you, man. We gotta take care of some of these rabid remonstrants, man, foaming at the mouth. Hey, we got Dwayne. Dwayne, what's in the house? What's going on, buddy? Good to see you. Who else we got? Yeah, that's it for now. Yeah, same people. So I'll be definitely. Oh, we got Kevin. Kevin's in the house. What's happening, baby? Kevin. He said, I just wanted to make this public that I've decided to step away from Graham until he repents. I apologize to anyone that he has gone too far with on my channel. Please forgive me. Oh man, that's interesting. So Kevin has my phone number, and he sent me a text and asked me to call if he wanted me to, if I could talk. I couldn't talk at the time because at the time I got the message, I was asleep, and so we've been pretty much playing phone tag. Yeah, Kevin, it's really sad, man, because despite the fact that I don't like Graham, I would never ever do anything deliberately to destroy your relationship with anyone else, even if you're both opposed, my views. So that is kind of sad to hear. But at the same time, man, Kevin, you're a grown man. You do what you need to do. You do what you want to do. You follow your own personal godly convictions. And if what you're saying here is genuine, which I believe that it is, I think you're doing the right thing, that you're following your conscience according to Romans 14. I was just made privy to, Timmy Saxton, what's going on? Good to see you, man. Definitely want to talk more with you later. So thank you for reaching out to me about this video that we're going to look at, because I haven't subscribed to Graham's channel in a few years. I unsubbed his channel because, again, this is no secret. I've shared this with everyone. My kryptonite is people with short tempers. Okay, I'll say that again. I have no shame in admitting it. This is a weakness of mine. I cannot stand people with short tempers and people who are extremely arrogant. Okay? They're like 99% of you here that are listening to me right now that have subscribed to even subscribe to this channel. You guys, about 90% of you, let's say, maybe not 99, but of you disagree with the Calvinist view. You disagree with the Reformed view of soteriology. You disagree with the Calvinist understanding of free will and determinism and compatibilism and all those other type of things. Okay? But the good thing that we have with each other is that we all seem to manage to get along with each other just fine. Okay? You're not forcing your views down my throat, and I'm not forcing my views down your throat. But the disagreements are there. They're in the air. They linger. Okay? Whenever one of you guys appear in my room, we know right off the bat who you are, what your beliefs are, and where the conversation could possibly end up going to the moment you enter the room. And the same goes for me as well when I go into you guys' room. But most of the time, the conversations usually, they get a little passionate, but they don't resort to the point where you're raising your voice or even personally attacking someone. Yeah, Kevin, will you disagree with Calvinism? Your breath stank. Yeah, and I saw your mommy yesterday. Yeah, she was wearing some Crocs with the messy hairdo. Yeah, stuff like that. I'm gonna send a pizza over to your house since you don't agree with me. That kind of thing. See, my conversations with people that I'm civil with who disagree with the Calvinist view never get to that point. They never do. They never do. Okay. And the people who just want to troll me and, act like, who are part of the Smokey Sycophant crew, I don't have too much beef with them either. It's usually just a kind of back and forth kind of trolling, I find it funny. I find it funny that a lot of these guys who try to tag me in their videos or tag me with some sort of conversation where Smokey was speaking, act like that's supposed to be some sort of life-changing event. Like, oh, Smokey said this, so therefore I got to change my ways. I must be wrong. Why? Because Smokey said so. No, it doesn't work that way, my friend. Okay. So there are a lot of brothers and sisters, and yes, I call them brothers and sisters, who I disagree with and they disagree with me. And we get along just fine. Many of them will fellowship with me even. They'll worship with me. I got brothers and sisters right here in my church. I'm in a church that's pretty much King James first. Some people could say it's King James only. Okay. They definitely don't teach Calvinism. They don't espouse Calvinism. In fact, my pastor spoke a tad bit against it last Sunday from behind the pulpit. And did you think that I got up in the middle of his sermon and says, screw this congregation, I'm out of here? No, because I believe that pastor, I've met him a couple of times. We've had breakfast together. Okay. We shake hands at the end of every sermon. Okay. There's a great schooling program there. Okay. Very conservative environment. In fact, most of the men are dressing up in suit and shirt. We say shirt and ties. There are a couple of guys who are kind of casual like myself. I don't go in there I don't do the tie thing unless I absolutely have to. And most of the women are wearing dresses down to their knees, down to their legs and stuff like that, their ankles, that kind of thing. See, but the fact of the matter is, I'm just showing you how we can get along despite our differences in certain areas of theology, of Christianity. It doesn't have to get to this point where you're raising your voice, you're yelling at somebody, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, somebody's calling the cops on somebody, or somebody is talking about somebody's family. Like the other day, that bozo Smokey, Smokey going to put out some video where he puts out some sort of list. He's going to call out everyone in this community who's turning a blind eye to the situation between Dude and Olive, and then he's just going to lump us in with, we're just being, complacent and passive about the situation. It's a serious thing, and yet none of you are saying anything about it. Yet, I had to confront him in person and say, listen, the majority of us, we got other things going on, man. We got families, we got a house to take care of. We got jobs. Heck, we even have other hobbies that we put above this. Okay, and I'm saying all of you. And just because I got more things to do than some of you guys do, that doesn't mean I'm a better person than you. Okay? So anyway, let me just get back to my point. We can get along, okay? The people that I go to church with, they disagree with Calvinism. Yet, they have no problem preaching the gospel in the streets next to me. Okay, we hand out Bibles, we hand out gospel tracts. We preach the gospel to people. And it's amazing, by the way. When we're out there, we got our little booth set up, little table with gospel tracts and Bibles set up on it and chairs. And when nobody comes, man, we're just sitting there praising the Lord, man. It's awesome. Until somebody comes in and says, hey, what are you guys handing out? And bam, we start talking, start ministering unto them. No problem. There's never a situation where I'm saying, hey, don't listen to this guy. He's a stinking Arminian. He don't know nothing about the sovereignty of God. Listen to me. Okay, let me show you this John MacArthur Bible and blah, blah, blah. See, no. The conversation never gets to that point. It never does. And if you're a synergist and you think that is always the case with the Calvinists, then you are sadly mistaken. You are sadly mistaken, and you need to take some time to get off the internet. Take some time to get off the internet. Okay? You don't want people stereotyping you and your position. So why do you think that it's okay for you to do it to the Calvinists? Okay? There are a lot of non-Calvinist people who I get along with just fine. I love them. They love me. They have absolutely no problem witnessing or ministering unto others with me, alongside me. Okay? It never gets to the point where I'm doxing them or I'm attacking them or they're attacking me. It never gets to that point. If we ever get into a passionate discussion, it will usually end in a very civil manner. Like, okay, brother, we're just going to have to disagree. We're just going to have to agree to disagree. Okay, brother. Still love you, man. Dap me up real quick, And then we go about our separate ways. See each other the next day or the next time we go to church. And, hey, brother, God bless you, man. I love you, man. How you doing? You doing good? Family? Good. And that's all it has to be. But some people just have some really short tempers. So like I said before, I don't deal well with walking on eggshells for no one. No one. I don't walk on eggshells for no one. I've said everybody who knows me knows that this is my belief, whether you meet me in person or whether you've heard me say it online. I walk on eggshells for no one. Okay? If you want a conversation with me and you have a reputation of having a hot temper, I'm not going to talk to you. I don't even want to be anywhere near you. Okay? And that is the reason why I've unsubscribed Graham's channel. There's other people who are like him, and I unsub them for the same reason. I even have family members who are exactly the same way. You can't say a single thing to people like this without them flipping their lid. Okay? And it's just annoying, and it's aggravating. It really is. And so maybe I have a short temper too. Maybe there's something that I need prayer in. Some of you guys handle people like Graham and other short-tempered people very, very well, way better than I do. I'm almost thinking that you're probably on some sort of Valium or something. I don't know how you guys do it. But I'm taking the biblical approach. I will never ever get into a one-on-one conversation with Graham until I am convinced that he has changed his ways, he has toned down, or at least in that moment he's willing to be calm. Okay? Or if it's in a moderated environment. Those are the only two cases that you're going to ever see me get into a direct conversation with the man. And so, with that said, other than that, man, I really, I don't have any issue. I haven't talked about the man in a couple of years. And so that just goes to show how much he lives in my head, which he doesn't. But the reason why we're talking about him today is because, well, Graham, Grouchy Graham, I'm going to just call him Grouchy Graham from here on. Grouchy Graham is at it again, flipping his lid over something I think was really, really nonsensical. Just really, really stupid. And I'm wondering if the man does have some sort of mental issue or not. I don't know. Because I have a family member. I'm not going to say who it is. None of you probably even know who I'm referring to. But I have a family member who acts just like Graham. He acts just like him. You can't say a single thing to this man without him flipping his lid. And so it's getting to the point where you have to watch what you say. Like, you can't even say good morning to certain individuals, to this person, without him saying, what are you trying to say? What you mean? What you trying to say? And so my family member, who probably never watches my channel at all, but if he was, he knows exactly that I'll be talking about him. And so I'm comparing him to this guy, Grahame Gould. This attitude, this rage, is highly unnecessary. It's ungodly, unbiblical, and it makes people not want to listen to you. And again, I'm going to say this again. I've said it 1,000 times, and I'll say it again here. And I challenge anybody out there to defeat what I'm about to say right now. I've said this 1,000 times, and I'll say it again. I challenge anyone. Here is my challenge for all of you non-Calvinists, for all of you synergists, okay? If you believe that salvation is activated, actuated, whatever you want to call it, after you've made a decision for Jesus Christ, then you also have to believe, if you're going to be logically consistent, you also have to believe that your attitude and your behavior as an ambassador of Christ plays a major role in people hearing you, so for them to make a decision for Christ. Let me repeat that, because you can't have it both ways. If you believe that salvation is attained after one makes a decision for Jesus Christ, okay, then you also have to believe that your attitude and behavior as an ambassador of Christ can play a major influence on the ones you're preaching the gospel to, or on the ones that you are ministering unto. Do you understand that? In other words, if you're trying to witness to somebody, and you're at the same time blowing your top off at the simplest and stupidest and tiniest and pettiest and the most futile, littlest thing, the trivial, littlest things, how is that going to make Christ look? You're giving Jesus Christ a black eye when you do that. You risk the opportunity of witnessing and ministering unto those who have not made a decision for Christ yet. Matt Cheevers, I see you on the side chat. I would gladly challenge you on this. Gladly challenge you. Get your butt in here, because there's no way that you can do it. There's no way you can do it. There's no way. I have yet to see a synergist refute this argument. You can't do it without borrowing some tad bit of Calvinism from it. There's no way for you to do it. The reason why I think the argument stands is because it's 100% biblical. For example, we see, going back to the Old Testament, we see Moses being hindered from going into the promised land. Why? Because he smote the rock 2 times, and he did it out of anger. He did it out of anger. So God saw that and prohibited him from going to the promised land. And what was God's reasoning for doing that? Is because he made God out to be a mean God, a short-tempered God. Moses was a poor representation of God in that instance. Okay? So obviously God doesn't like that kind of thing. It's unbecoming of a Christian. I'm not saying that you lose your salvation or that you're not saved if you're doing it, but it is unbecoming of a Christian. If we're supposed to love our enemies, according to Matthew 5, how much more so is it expected to love those who have made a profession of faith, even if you disagree with their soteriology? Okay? So getting upset, blowing your lid over the stupidest little things is just absolutely stupid. It's ungodly, it's unbiblical, and it hinders your ministry. It hinders your ministry. Okay? And there's no biblical means for you to support it. You just can't do it. And I challenge anyone. I'll be opening up the room momentarily. I won't tell you when, but I got to get through this video. We've already talked about Grahame before and his sour attitude, but I want to show you as much as I can what brought today's stream today. So I see a few people on the side chat. Jace, what's going on? Good to see you. Ben, Charlie Michaels. Here we go. So the fact that you're claiming the behavior of some humans can affect the eternal fate of others proves you either don't understand. Oh gosh. This man is dumb. This man is dumb. Yeah, and Matt Chivas, yeah, I definitely want to I want to see if you can present an argument that can refute my suggestion. So again, here's my challenge to you, Matt Chivas, since you're willing to take up the challenge. You cannot, if you believe that salvation is obtained or actuated, let me put it that way, is actuated or made actual by way of man's choice for Jesus Christ, then you also have to believe that your behavior as a minister can affect one's decision-making process for Jesus Christ. And when I say one's, I'm talking about those who you are ministering to, those who you are representing Christ in front of. You can't have it both ways. See, at least with the Calvinists, and I don't know any Calvinist who's going to say this, at least with the Calvinists, though, if the Calvinists wanted to be stupid and say, well, we don't have to, worry about our behavior because God already has as an elect anyway. So whether I act polite or godly or not doesn't have any effect on the person making the decision for Jesus Christ. It doesn't matter. See, now, I don't know any Calvinists who would argue like that, except for the hyper-Calvinists, who are clearly heretical. Okay, but the Calvinist is not off the hook either. Because even though we do believe that the Bible specifically teaches that there is an elect, those who are saved since the foundation of the world and have an appointed time where they'll be quickened by the Holy Spirit, we still also observe and understand the obligation, the commandments of being polite to people, to love our enemies, to pray for those who persecute us, to bless those who curse us. We recognize those, just like some of you non-Calvinists, many of you non-Calvinists do. You see? So, logically speaking, if we're going to put the two next to each other, the Calvinist has probably more of a way out, if you will, of a more of an excuse to act stupid in front of those they're witnessing for, in front of, than the non-Calvinist does. Okay? But again, that doesn't mean that the Calvinist is off the hook, because the Calvinist has obligation to represent Christ in a biblical fashion, just like everybody else, just like everyone else. Before I read, I'm going to just read this one last thing, and then I'm going to go to the video. Matthew Cheever says, Veckel, my challenge to you, why would your behavior matter when presenting the gospel if it has no effect on... You're not listening. Matt Cheever, you're not listening. Or maybe you wrote this as I was speaking, and I'm just now seeing it. Again, let me just repeat what I said before. The Calvinist does not assert that our behavior has any bearing on the quickening power of God's work in a person. Okay? That's your position. Your position says that a man must make a decision and then they are saved. God reaches out to all the world. He has this grace extended to every single human being, but they have to make a choice. That's your position. That's what you believe. Okay, fine. But if you're going to believe that, you also have to believe that our behavior can affect one making a decision. So if a person sees us acting stupid and misrepresenting God, maybe even doing things that are offensive to them, that can make them look at us and say, you guys, if this is your God, I want nothing to do with it. If this is your God, I want nothing to do with it. So you can't have your cake and eat it too, Matt. You can't. You have more so than the Calvinists, I would argue, an even bigger obligation to act godly in front of the non-believer. You have a bigger obligation to strive towards holiness in front of the non-believer. You have a bigger obligation to minister unto people, to reach the lost, than the Calvinist-minded individual, I would say. Even though, again, biblically speaking, the Calvinist is not off the hook. We still are obligated, and it's a privilege, by the way, to preach the gospel, to spread the gospel, to minister unto others. But you, sir, logically speaking, you have a bigger obligation than we do. You have an obligation to do everything in your power to win souls, even if it means being nice to them. Okay, even if it means, joining, you just fill in the blank. Whatever you got to do, you practice your 1 Corinthians 9. Okay, become all things to all men. Anything you got to do to win souls, you have to, if you're going to be consistent with your free will position, you have to take that to heart. You have to take that to heart. Okay? And if you keep asking me the same question, that just shows me that you don't understand even your own position. The Calvinists, however, even though we're not off the hook, we still have this obligation. However, the difference is the point of view. When I'm witnessing to somebody who's not listening, who doesn't care about the gospel, there's no weight on my shoulders, because my real success is not me winning souls to Christ. Real success is doing what God has commanded me to do. That's the real success. That's where the real success comes from. Okay? Are we going to say that the prophet Jeremiah was a failure? 40 years in the wilderness, or 40 years preaching, and he didn't win a single solitary convert? No, of course not. He did exactly as God commanded him to do. And not only did he do what God commanded him to do, but according to Jeremiah chapter 20, he couldn't help but to do what God commanded him to do. He wanted to do what God commanded him to do. He had the desire to do what God commanded him to do. And that's the wonderful thing about being regenerated. The wonderful thing about being quickened by the Holy Spirit. So anyway, I'm going to stop there before I go more on a tangent. Now, let's go back to this. I tell you, man, listen, I don't hate Grahame, but my flesh does get the best of me sometimes. And I would love to use some very ungodly and worldly language to describe how I feel about this guy. But it's not needed. The reason why, two reasons why. Number one, the main reason is because God commands us to not do that. Number two is because I'm trying to look at things through the eyes of people like this. Grahame. He has a strong passion for his position, fine. But he's just got to work on this short temper of his. And this is why a lot of people in this community make fun of him. A lot of people want nothing to do with him, including myself, because we don't want to be in an environment where we're afraid to be booted out the room, or we're afraid to be yelled at any second because one simple little thing that we say that's not even offensive. That's not even inherently offensive. Nobody wants to be around a person like that. Nobody wants to subscribe to someone like that. Excuse me for a second. Yeah, Matt, I want to get on with the video. I see that you have a lot to say. And so do you, Charlie Michaels. You're probably one of the biggest cowards in this community. But we'll see if you have the cojones to come in once I open up the room. Let me step away from the mic real quick. Just need to get some water, then we'll get started. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, Matt. Yeah, that's fine. If you want, we could set up either a one-on-one, whether it's public or private. It doesn't matter. Either way. I'm glad that you're wanting to answer my challenge. I don't think you're going to be very successful, if I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think you have book, chapter, or verse to support anything against what I'm saying. Okay. But I would love to see you make that attempt. So definitely interesting. We got Max in the house. What's going on? What's going on, Mac? Dad is in the house. We got Isaac's in the house. What's going on? Anyway, so let's do this. Yeah, I'm calling this Graham's damage control because this guy Grahame, again, like I said, he's known for having extremely hot head. Let me just show you where this all started first. Now, granted, what I'm about to show you is a series of comments going back and forth. This was on Kevin's channel. 1 second here. And I'll explain to you the problem once I get there. Let's see. Hold on 1 second. All right, hold on a second. I got to look for the video. We're going to start off with Kevin's videos. Kevin recently, as I'm talking to you guys now, just excuse the typing in the background. Kevin recently did a stream called Calvinism Breeds Brain Rot. I didn't get a chance to watch the whole thing. Oh my gosh, come on, where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay, give me a second here. All right, I'm not going to play the video. I'm just going to show you the comments section. Okay, so let's stream. All right, here we go. All right, let me just make sure you guys can see that. Okay. I'm probably going to have to blow up the screen a little bit. Give me a second. I feel like I don't do this enough. Okay. All right, so this is Kevin's video, Kevin's recent stream. It's called Calvinism Causes Brain Rot. Okay, I had no problem with him making this video. Obviously, I disagree with this position. I also started off by saying one simple comment that wasn't addressed towards anyone. Let me see if you guys can see that. All right, now, on your screen, it might be kind of small, so let me see if I can blow it up. So it's not you guys. It's the screen. See if I can blow it up a little bit. Oh gosh, I wish I could get to just the streams. Give me a second here. Where are the comments? Oh, there you are. Nope, that's the live chat. Here we go. All right, there we go. All right. So I probably should have did a snapshot of this. So I start off by saying, I think it's also appropriate for a Calvinist to do an anti-Calvinism causes brain rot stream as well. I sort of already did one a couple years ago, and I did one actually in direct response to my favorite rabid remonstrant named Bob, and this guy just hates everybody. But back then when I did that stream, the guy was just inundating his channel with anti-Calvinist garbage, played by a guy named Kevin Thompson or something like that. And Bob, I don't have a problem saying this. I don't have any hatred towards Bob, but Bob is probably one of the biggest cowards in this community, if we're going to be honest. He's always tagging people, but he's never really seeking to engage in a civil conversation with them. He'll sit there and lie and says, well, I tried to talk to you, but you just flipped your lid on me and just misrepresent. Grahame says the same thing. So if Bob wants to engage in a civil, moderated environment, a conversation, let's set it up. But see, Bob has shown me and so many other people so many times that he's really not interested in having a conversation with them. And it's not just Calvinists that he does this to. He does this with everyone. Okay, this is why you can go to almost every one of our streams in this community of ours, and you'll see somebody saying something ill about Bob. because Bob is just, I don't know, I think he's just an ankle biter. He's not really seeking to engage in debate or a civil discussion. That's fine. You know, if he could do whatever he wants, but that doesn't mean that we have to, play along. And so I blocked him. I was going to unblock him, but it seems like the guy is just still, acting the way he does, still tagging people. So, you know what? I'm not interested in that. If he's really interested in having a discussion, or if he really cares about my salvific status, whether or not I'm going to hell, he can reach out to me. There's other ways he can reach out to me. But I'm not convinced of that to be the case. So I don't have to deal with that. Other people who do this to me, they're just trolls. And I actually know that they're trolling me, and so when I troll them back, they don't seem to have an issue, except they either laugh or don't say anything at all. But anyway, back to this. I simply said I think it's appropriate for a Calvinist to do an anti-Calvinist causes brain rot stream as well. I sort of already did one a couple of years ago. Now here's the problem with this stream here. For some reason, I don't know if it's you guys, if maybe it's just me, but there seems to be an issue with YouTube lately where you're leaving comments and then they seem to be getting deleted, or they just mysteriously disappear. I don't know what's going on. Am I the only one experiencing this? I'm wondering if you guys could tell me, because you see this, look, you see, it says 6 replies here. There were more replies than that. And look what happens. When I click on the replies, right, it doesn't show all 6 of them. So now let me try this. Sort by top. Let's see what happens. Because sometimes I click on this and all of them show up. Okay, so now obviously something changed here. Let's see if we can find mine. Okay, scroll down a little bit. Yeah, see? Where are they? It says 6 replies, but I don't see them. I feel like they're in another part of the reply list. Now here it says 39 replies. And we see all 39 of them here. Show more replies. All right, so the only thing I'm thinking of, and I know I said more than this. I just don't see them. I know I said more than this. Maybe I accidentally wrote in the wrong chat, responding to something else. But this is the part that really confuses me right here. It says 6 replies, yet I only see 1. I only see Kevin's reply. That's weird. Anyway, let's get back to the main topic. Let me get a sip of water real quick. My goodness, it's already 4 o'clock. I'm gonna have to go pick up my daughter in about an hour. All right, let's try to be. All right. So I didn't respond to anything specifically said or stated in the actual video. All I said was, I think it's appropriate for a Calvinist to do an anti-Calvinist causes brain rot stream as well. I sort of already did one. And Kevin responds by saying, well, anti-Calvinists that promote false gospel should be addressed like Charlie Michaels. Yep, he should be addressed. Charlie Michaels should be addressed as a false prophet. Yeah, Charlie Michaels is a false prophet. Doesn't know jack squat about what he's talking about regarding the King James or the word pistis, believe, commit. He doesn't know any of that stuff. But anyway, that's a whole other separate conversation. But I don't want to focus on what Kevin said. I want to focus on what Graham said directly to me. Let me see if I can actually find it. See, because I never said anything targeted to anybody except non-Calvinists in general. So give me a second here, folks. See, because when you're looking at things, when you're looking at things on your phone, you get a different format than what you would get on your desktop. Oh, okay, here. I think this is where it started. I'm not addressing anyone. There's no names here. I'm addressing Twitchy Theologian. We're gonna show a video with him and Graham too later on. It says, I think you did have Twitchy says this. He says to Graham, you won't debate me. You slander me in videos. There's your issue. And then I respond by saying, I think you did have a brief discussion with him before and ended abruptly because he lost his temper and rage quit, if I'm not mistaken. And that's true. And you're going to see the evidence of it. You're going to see that it actually did happen. I'm going to show you that video in just a minute, just a few minutes. Graham responds out of his hot temper, it lasted for hours, liar. And I rage quit because he had zero desire to have an honest conversation. It was a trap. It was supposed to be a discussion about my book, but he just wanted to bait me into appearing so he could verse hop as though it was a constant cross-exam run by him with zero attempt to actually understand my position or interact with it at all. Exactly the same as you cowardly troll. He's never tried to have a real conversation with me since he found out that I oppose Calvinism. The only real conversation he had was when he joined me on my channel and he behaved like a real human instead of behaving like atheists do. That is not true. That is not true. Graham, you're lying. Okay? I'm subscribed to Twitchy Theologian's channel, and every time I see him, there might be a little bit of snarkiness here and there. Okay? But it's not often. And the guy he always speaks with a very, very polite tone. I've never seen him raise his voice. Okay, I've never seen him do any of the things that you're accusing him of in this video. In fact, Graham does this with every individual that he opposes. He always accuses them of the same thing, lying and straw manning. He always says that. He says that's about everybody he disagrees with. He's always accusing them of those two things, lying and straw manning. Okay, moving on. Then I respond and says, I don't understand why the personal attacks. I clearly stated a fact, Graham. It's on video. You raised your voice and blasted Twitchy while he was being very civil with you, and then you rage quit the conversation. That's a fact. It's not an attack on you. And it's true. It wasn't an attack on Graham. I was just clearly stating a fact, and we're going to show you the facts. And from there on, he just goes on his tirade where he's attacking both me and this other guy named Timmy Saxton. And that's the last I hear of it. Oh, and then next thing you know, he's going through my channel looking for other videos, and he finds the video that I posted from our debate a couple of years back about whether or not Graham is a synergist, and he just starts to start a new thread of conversation there. In fact, let's do that. Let's go take a look at that real quick. Give me a second here. We're gonna call it let me turn off the sound effects here. Give me a second here. All right. So this is the debate that I did a couple years ago on Kevin's channel. More of a discussion, I guess. Discussion/debate, I don't know. Because we were bumping heads about whether or not Graham is an actual synergist. I said that he is. He claims that he's not. He claims that he's a monergist. Ha ha! Anyway. And so that discussion was, it's done and over with. A couple years ago. People left comments, as you would expect. Then, just a couple days ago, he decides to leave another comment, which had nothing to do with Kevin's video. So I guess, I don't know, he must have been doing some digging around, looking for some dirt on me, I don't know, or looking for whatever, I don't know. And then he writes this, and he says, thanks for deceptively defining synergism and monergism to ignore that by definition of monergism, I am a monergist! But you don't care about clarity. And thanks for lying and saying that it's not essential to the faith when you continually strawman, there's that word again, when you continually strawman all disagreement with you are being a works-based salvation. See, I'm going to stop you right there. See? I've said this over and over and over again, even in the very video that he's commenting on, which clearly demonstrates that Graham does not listen to a damn thing that anybody says to him. if you look at this video, and I'll share the link so you guys can look at it for yourself. Let me just double check something. I haven't looked at the side chat in a minute. Make sure my audio is still intact. Nobody's trying to reach out to me. Give me a second here. Give me a second, folks. Give me a second. We're going to continue. I just want to make sure. Okay, good. Yeah, I see you, Stefan. Stefan says you need to work on your Aussie accent. Yes, right. Well, in this case, I don't care. I don't care because I'm not a big fan of this particular Aussie that we're talking about. So no disrespect to all the other Aussies out there, but I don't like this one. So I think it's okay. We're just talking. I just pretend I'm an Aussie who's lost his accent, lived in Brooklyn too long. But anyway, and I don't live in Brooklyn anymore. Anyway, but what else he says? And let me repeat this. He said, "Thanks for lying and saying that it's not essential to the faith when you continually strawman all disagreement with you are being a works-based salvation." The sentence doesn't even make any real sense, but it sounds like he's accusing me of strawmanning him and accusing him of being a works-based salvationist, which I've never said that. Even in the very debate, which is in this video, you would clearly hear me say several times that, Graham, your position does not reject sola fide. Okay? I've said it numerous times, but he doesn't listen because he's got too much anti-Calvinism hatred built up in his ears, and he can't hear anything else except for anybody coddling to him. And then he goes on to say, "It's sad and pathetic how deceptive and confused you are." I mean, you could just hear the venom, the vitriol. Like I wonder, like if we could, what would his face look like while he was typing this? I can imagine his face being all red, sweaty, spit just drooling and oozing out of his mouth because his pride has been pricked by somebody who disagrees with him. And he can lie all he wants and says, "Oh, this is because he's tired of being strawmanned and lied unto." No, it's not the case. That's not the case. I think the real reason Graham is upset and Graham gets so easily triggered by people like me and others is because he doesn't have a real strong logical position to support his position, as you're going to see in this video that I'm going to show you between him and Twitchy. And then I said, so I get a little mad and I respond by saying, "You failed miserably in presenting anything that opposed what I said in my opening statement. Your terrible reasoning was looking only to the scientific use of the word. I think you're being dishonest." I'm going to stop there because I don't feel like looking for more and I'm kind of short on time. So let's go back. All right, so that's where all this started a couple days ago on Kevin's stream called Discussion. No. It was on his video, Calvinism Causes Brain Rot. So you can go to his channel, check it out, Kevin's Biblical Discussions. For those of you who disagree with Calvinism and you agree with eternal security at the same time, check out Kevin's channel. Kevin and I agree on pretty much everything except for the issue of I think reprobation, and of course this issue here of free will, Calvinism versus synergism stuff. So let me do this. Let me get back to a regular size screen here. Okay, now. And so now before I show you the video, give me a second here. All right. So now what I want to do is I'm going to show you a video between Graham and Twitchy Theologian. Twitchy Theologian is another Calvinist. Very nice guy. I've never seen him blow up on anybody like we see Grouchy Graham do. But let's go on ahead and do it. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. We're going to look at what I was talking about, what I accused him of. What did I say about what Graham did? I said to Twitchy, that Grahame was in a debate with you, right? And as far as I can remember, he left the debate very angry, even raising his voice, and then eventually rage quitting. Is that a lie? Is that a misrepresentation of his synergistic view of scripture, of salvation? No. No. It's just a fact. Period. This is not an attack on Grahame. It's not an attack on his character. It actually is strong evidence that he needs, maybe some therapy or something like that. But let me just show you. Since you guys, some of you don't believe me, or Grahame himself. So let's go. This is, and I'm going to share, as a matter of fact, before I do this, I like to share the links. You guys can look at the entire discussion for yourself. Give me a second. Okay. So now, you're seeing the link. You see the link already posted on the side. That's the link to this particular video that we're looking at here. You can, click on it just to test it out, make sure that it's okay. And this is the video to the discussion that Twitchy and Grahame had. And again, my comment was not about what Grahame said in the debate. My comment was about how Grahame behaved. Period. That's all it was. We didn't get into the nook and cranny about the actual discussion. Okay? I didn't say, "Oh, Grahame, you got smoked in that debate." I didn't say that. I didn't say, "Grahame, you raised some really, really stupid points in this conversation." Nope, didn't say that either. The only thing I brought up was in regards to his behavior. That's it. That's it. That's it. And you tell me, folks, right? If I'm out in the streets witnessing to people, and I'm saying Jesus is the Prince of Peace, okay? He's the Prince of Peace. He cares about you, right? He wants you to love your enemies. But then they see a person like this yelling at the top of his lungs, getting easily angered at some of the most dumbest things. How do you think that's going to affect the person who's hearing the gospel for the first time? What do you think that's going to cause them to think? Then here comes the part where some of these synergists want to borrow the Calvinist position and say, well, look, it's ultimately up to God to do something. God has to work on their hearts. Oh, really? Oh, so now all of a sudden you want to borrow from the Calvinist view. I gotcha. So God has to do something to that person. He has to protect them from mean old grouchy Grahame in order for them to get saved. I gotcha. So your behavior, your attitude has nothing to do with it, right? I gotcha. My attitude towards you, towards lawyers and straw-manning idiots who need to go rock off, has nothing to do with another person making a decision for Jesus Christ. Oh my gosh, we got Bill for Speed on the side chat. What's going on, baby? How you doing? Good to see you. Anyway, let's go to this video here. For those of you who are interested in watching the video uninterrupted, I gave you the link. It's on the side chat. You can watch the whole thing for yourself. I am going to start at the 2 hour and 42 minute mark. This is the part. The conversation went on, obviously, for a couple of hours, as you can see. And we got Rob. Rob, what are you doing here? Rob, listen, Rob, I want you to leave. I want you to leave. I'm sick of you, Rob. No, Rob, I'm just kidding. Love you, brother. Anyway, all right, so let's go watch this video and see if there's proof of me, of Grahame Gould. Let me stop. That's a terrible accent. I'm doing the All Seas a disservice, man. Sorry, man. I just can't stand this attitude of his, man. It's annoying. But anyway, here we go. 2 hours and 42 minutes. And this is where either Grahame, listen, if Grahame was just tired, he could have just said, Twitchy, we've been at this discussion for over 2 hours. I just want to take a break. I disagree with you. I think you have a very, very heretical view of scripture. I'll let you get the last words, and I'm going to leave and enjoy the rest of my day. See, he could have ended it that way, but no, he had to rage quit, as you're going to see here right now. You guys know what to do. Hook up a brother and let me know if y'all can't hear nothing. And away we go.
This would, if this is
except here, I'm showing you where it isn't being used that way. There's 2 possible verses where is it, and yet you asserted with the last verse everywhere.
Well, hold on. That's because...
No, I'm not going to hold on. I'm going to hold you to your word. You said everywhere.
Yes, and I believe that it's efficacious here as well. I think that you're misunderstanding all, and you need to look at the context. Who's coming to Jesus? Who's coming to Jesus here in this verse? In this chapter, I mean.
Okay. You see how calm and polite Twitchy is being for the most part? Granted, there's a little bit of snarkiness here, but that part of conversation is normal. And, it's usually kind of done in what's the word? Kind of done tongue in cheek sort of thing. You kind of want to make the debate a little bit more interesting, so that's okay. That's fine. But this guy, Grahame, I mean, he's just taking all this way too seriously, man. And the problem that I think is he might try to claim that, so I'm doing this because I actually care about the one's salvific status. I don't want you to go to hell. So I yell and I do this because I care. That is the type of passion that I have. That's a lie. I disagree with that. I think the real reason why Grahame behaves this way is because he has a temper problem. It's that simple. And he doesn't like being challenged in this manner. He doesn't like being challenged. He doesn't like that he's up against somebody who he thinks might be in some way, shape, or form be able to give him a run for his money, or maybe even cook him in a debate. So, anyway, here we go with Graham's temper tantrum. Here we go.
Who's coming to visit Jesus in this chapter?
So all doesn't mean all because of who he's talking to? Is that your point?
Well, even you would limit the word all in certain places because of there's delimiters.
It has to be justified by the text, not by your desire to limit it.
Amen. So in this text, the Greeks are coming to Jesus, and he's telling his disciples, when I'm raised up from the earth, I'm going to draw efficaciously, not just Jews, but Gentiles as well, unto myself.
Well, you keep assuming that. You haven't proven that yet. You can keep assuming it, but don't keep assuming it in trying to prove that
I'm sorry, right. What am I assuming?
You're assuming it's efficacious.
Well, again...
Okay, let me stop right here real quick. So they're talking about the word draw. Okay, I'll be real brief with this because I want to get back to the video. They're focusing on the word draw. I might have to do a part 2 today because I'm running out of time. So I'm going to have to leave in about an hour. But anyway, they're talking about the word draw as it's used in the Greek all throughout the New Testament. Everywhere with this word helko, which is draw in the Greek. Everywhere it's used, it is always used in a manner of the drawing being 100% efficacious. Efficacious means without fail. It meets the standard, hits the bullseye. It always meets its intended end. It doesn't fail. So anything that God desires to do, ordains to do, will be 100% efficacious. Meaning that it will be without fail, even without hindrance. You might have some pushback here and there, but it's never going to fail. God cannot fail at anything. So Twitchy and Grahame are arguing about this particular verse. A lot of non-Calvinists like to bring this up. You know, what about John 12:32? What about John 12:32? You know, if I be lifted up from the earth, I will draw all men unto me. So the non-Calvinists bring this to the Calvinists all the time, thinking that this is some sort of kill shot, which is not. And they'll focus on the word all there. But what Twitchy is doing here, he's saying, well, if the word draw here is 100% efficacious, then that you can only come to two conclusions with this verse. Either the all there is only speaking of all kinds of people, which is exactly what the Greek word pas means in the Greek. Not every single individual, but all kinds of people. Talking about black, white, Hispanic, Asian, rich, poor, young, old, tall, short, fat, skinny, male, female, slave, free. You fill in the blank. All different categories of people. All kinds of people will be saved. All kinds of people will be drawn to the Son via the Father. Okay? And it will be done, according to the use of the word helko, 100% efficaciously. So, again, the word all either has to mean all kinds of individuals, not every single person, but all kinds, or it means everyone. But you can't have it two ways and not be a universalist. You can't say that the draw is efficacious and the all means everyone, including those who deny Jesus Christ, and then turn around and reject universalism. You can't have it that way. So the only logical conclusion you can come to, if you're going to reject universalism, is to say that the word draw, helko in the Greek, is 100% efficacious. And if that is the case, then that means the word all cannot mean every single individual. Now, here's the problem with some dishonest non-Calvinists. Some non-Calvinists will look at the word draw and they'll try to water it down and make it look like, well, that's just the process of them coming to know Christ. God gives them the ability to make a decision, but they're not saved at that moment yet. Okay, so the drawing is not them getting saved. The drawing them is them hearing the word of God and them getting closer in the process to God to make them making a decision or making a true profession of faith. And then they are saved. See, but the Bible doesn't assert that. And again, if the word draw is 100% efficacious, then that process that you want to falsely assert that word helko onto means that it's going to still come to fruition and completion, which means, again, God will not fail. If God's going to draw you, and if you want to say that the drawing is a process leading up to salvation, then you also have to say that that drawing will complete its thing. It will come to completion. If the word helko means or infers something that is being the drawing or pulling of something that is efficacious without fail. And this is where Graham fails to understand what Twitchy was saying. Twitchy brought this up. I've heard CJ Cox bring this up. I've heard other people bring this up too. No one outside of Calvinism can show a place where the word helko is used in a non-efficacious manner. It's just nowhere in the New Testament. It's not there, folks. It's not there. So this is the problem with Graham. But anyway, so I just wanted to give that to you, a little bit of a background of what they're talking about here. John 12:32. And let's get back to the video here. Here we go.
And that's because in everywhere else in the...
Hold on. I got somebody at my door. I do apologize. I am going to have to step away. I don't want to step away without hearing this video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn up the music a little bit and put you guys on standby for a little bit. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. All right. Let's get back to the video here. Let's get back to the video here. Turn the music down a little bit. All right. And here we go. Back to the video. Flipping the lid with Grahame the Grouch. Here we go.
The Greek New Testament that I see it draw used, it is drawing a sword from a sheath, drawing in the nets, dragging Paul out of the temple. It's being used efficaciously. And in John 6:44, the same him who's drawn the same him who's raised up. It's efficacious there. This would be the one place in Scripture that it's not efficacious if all literally means every single person in the world, but all just means all kinds of men when you look at the context.
I don't agree with you. It doesn't mean all kinds of men, except because your philosophy demands it.
Tell them, Veckel. Tell them.
Yeah, well, Veckel can assert whatever Veckel wants to assert, but that's all he's got. He doesn't have any logical arguments.
So
I don't have any logical arguments, really? Yeah, of course you would say that. This is that's just a part of the pride that he's suffering from, peeking through. Right? Doesn't make any good references as to why he believes my position is illogical. He just says it. He just throws it out there. Anyway, let's get back to the video. Here we go.
So you're saying the drawing here isn't efficacious?
Correct.
Why?
Because he's drawing all.
And you're saying that all cannot be limited in that passage at all.
Well,
okay, you heard what he said, right? He says that the drawing in John 12:32 is not efficacious. And the reason why he believes it's not efficacious is because the all there. So he's stuck on the word all, meaning every single individual. So in other words, Grahame has to believe that God draws everyone, but somehow the drawing is there's a little bit of a failure on God bringing all these people to salvation. Now, of course, he wouldn't want to word it that way, but that's the logical conclusion that you're going to have to come to. If you're going to say that God wants everybody to be saved, and God who is omnipotent and omniscient, is drawing all these people, but yet somehow anything that this one area, the thing that he desires to do is somehow being hindered or is failing on the part of his own creation. See, this is why I disagree with some of you synergists. This is exactly why I disagree with some of you synergists. Because I believe that God is a savior. He doesn't try to save. He actually does save. And not only that, but he saves to the utmost. He will keep you saved. He will keep you saved. So Grahame has just admitted, as you heard out of his own mouth, that God's drawing of all men is not efficacious, because his conclusion is because of the word all. And obviously not every person is going to heaven. Some people are going to hell. But that doesn't mean that, and this again, speaking from Grahame's position, I'm not trying to straw man him, but speaking from Grahame's position, the all there is everyone, including those who are not believers. So God is drawing everyone to become a believer. But his drawing is inefficacious because what? Because there's some sort of reverential respect that God has towards man's free will. That's his position. That's your position as a synergist. I'm sorry. You don't like it? That's your problem. That's not my problem. That's by your own position, by your own admission. You're saying that God wants to save everyone, but he's being hindered. His drawing of all men unto himself is not efficacious because people are making a choice to go to hell. That's your position. That's not my position. Those are your words, not mine. So don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at the Calvinists. That's what you believe. That's what you believe. And I'm not, listen, man, I'm not calling you, I'm not saying you're going to hell because of that. I'm just putting a mirror up to your face and telling and showing you who you are, what you believe. But see, whenever you repeat these exact things back to guys like Grahame, we get accused of straw manning and lying. So again, if you're going to get outside of the Calvinist view, you have to believe that the drawing is inefficacious. At least Grahame is being consistent. Excuse me. At least Grahame is being consistent in that area. Gosh, I'm gonna have to do a part 2 later on tonight. But it'll be brief though. It ain't gonna be like next month or anything. I'd have to get going. Last minute thing. I have to actually leave earlier than I expected. But anyway, we're very close to the crash out. We're very close to the crash out. And then when I come back, I'll probably do an open chat. People could come in. But I got to get through this part real quick. Here we go.
It could be if you can give me a good reason, but you haven't given me a good reason.
Well, my 2 reasons was that, number one.
Oh, this is another problem that I have with Grahame. Actually, no. Actually, no. He did make an attempt to give an account. I disagree with it. I think it's stupid. But I'm not going to say that he didn't answer. So here we go.
The Greeks were, or some Gentile dudes were coming to Jesus to talk to him, and he's letting them know, hey man, I'm about to be drawing all people to myself, not just Jews, but Greeks as well. And because everywhere else in the Greek New Testament it's efficacious, and I have to be like, whoa, universalism's not true, because Jesus said people go to hell, so all has to be limited.
Yeah, because you assume that the drawing is efficacious. But if I don't assume that the drawing is efficacious, then the all doesn't have to be limited.
Well, can you show me somewhere that it's not?
Oh, and look who we have here, the guests of honor, the Grouchy Grahame. He said, it's amazing how much unity works Salvationists and Calvinists and all the heretics have here. Look at them. Those are the words of a butthurt citizen. Those are the words of a butthurt citizen. Now the tables are turned. Now there's a stream being done on him, putting him under the spotlight, putting him under the microscope, and now he's butthurt about it. But no, it's okay for him to do that to us. It's okay for him to make a video headlining me, calling me a coward and a liar. But no, here he comes with this sour little sippy attitude. And talking about, I just find it amazing how work Salvationists and Calvinists and other heretics have here. You just sound butthurt, man. But welcome to the show.
Other than John 12 where you're asserting it.
I'm not asserting it. You're asserting that it's limited. Because in John 6, it clearly showed the same him who's drawn is the same him who's raised up, and he will lose.
Look at him. Look at him putting his hand over his nose. He's getting tired. I don't know if he's tired. Listen, man, again, there's no need to blow up. If you're tired, he's been in this debate. It's been over 2 hours. 2 hours and 40-something minutes. Understandably, Grahame would be tired. And plus, secondly, Grahame is in a different time zone. So at the time that they were doing this debate, I don't know what time it was for Jerry, for Twitchy, or what time it was from Grahame. I'm just going to assume that Grahame was up really, really late at night, probably a little tired, a little frustrated. People get a little grumpy when they're tired, understandably. However, I would say that in the case of Grahame, I would say that he's always tired. But anyway, the fact of the matter is, you can see him right here in the video. He's getting ready to blow up. He's getting ready to blow up, folks. So here we go.
None.
Right, but that's the same him who comes. And you have to assume your Calvinism to reject my view so that you can prove that I'm wrong.
Well, because here's the thing. You're having to read the coming into verse 44. I don't have to.
Look at him. Look at him.
Just take the verse for what it says.
Did you see that? Man, such a hothead, man. throwing his fist up in the air. I'm about ready to crash out. I'm about ready to blow up. I can't stand this Calvinism.
Oh, good gracious. So you don't want me to show you somewhere else, right? Let's go.
No, I want you to. Go ahead. Go ahead. Show me somewhere else.
You want to argue about John 6? And lie about my position.
Wait, just show me somewhere else.
John 6!
That's fine.
And lie about my position.
Just show me somewhere else. That's fine.
Come! Don't tell me I'm assuming that to come. The come is right.
Hold on. Hold on. I had the sound effect interrupting him. Hold on. Let's go back a little bit. Here we go.
So you don't want me to show you somewhere else, right? Let's go.
No, I want you to. Go ahead. Go ahead. Show me somewhere else.
Want to argue about John 6 and lie about my position.
Wait, just show me somewhere else.
John
That's fine.
6 says, "Come."
Come.
Don't tell me I'm assuming that it comes. The come is right there in the verse.
Yeah, and it says
Man
no
of
one
God.
can, sir. It says no one can. I don't know why you're getting upset.
You're
Can I say
assuming
something?
That therefore, the drawing. No, you're assuming that the drawing is irresistible. Whereas
Sir.
I'm saying that God is drawing, but it's not irresistible.
Sir, with respect, and I would encourage you to think about this. Have I yelled once? I haven't gotten angry one time.
You said I'm assuming the coming. You said I'm assuming the coming.
You're assuming the coming in between the
verse.
Wait. You're assuming the coming in between the drawing and the raising up. You're saying that they're doing that of their free will. That's being assumed and eisegeted into that text. But here's my point, sir. I haven't gotten angry one time, and here's the reason. Hold on. Here's the reason. Because I know that everything that I have, my salvation, my faith, comes from God. And look, he just rage quit. Why? Because when you believe that your free will is the difference maker, that is an arrogant belief, and it results in arrogance, pride, and anger. But I believe that God chose me.
Look at this cop out from this is a cop out, and this is a lie. So everyone, Graham is on the side chat saying everyone knows Jesus has a temper and anger problems. The heretics all said after he had cleansed the get out of here. That's not true. This is a cop out. This is a way for this is what cultists do. Cultists who will do things contrary to the word of God will always try to force their views onto a passage that they think would actually give aid to their behavior or to a false belief that they have. Jesus did not have a reputation of a person with anger management that needed anger management. This is a desperate attempt again, but it's appropriate because today's video is called Graham Does Damage Control. This is coping, Graham. This is coping. You are lying. There is not a single verse that demonstrates Jesus having a reputation of having a temper. Half the people on this side chat know who you are, Graham, and they know that you have a very, very violent temper. And nobody, not a single one of these people that are asserting that, will ever make that comparison to Jesus. This is a lie, Graham. This is cope. He said Jesus was a loose cannon on the heretics of his day. Well, the heretics thought that he was crazy, of course, but he didn't have a reputation amongst other believers of having a bad temper. Where's the verse that says, we got to watch our tongue and we got to watch what we say around Jesus? He might snap and crash out any second now. We sneeze in the wrong direction, we might get, flogged. And then here he is again. It's sad how pathetic your arguments and attacks are, Bond. So now he's attacking Bond. He's attacking everybody. Ben says, yeah, he left. Wow. Yeah, you know what? So hey, since you did a video trying to call me out calling me a liar, calling me outside my name and everything. Guess what I'm about to do right now? I'm about to replay the clip, and then we're going to end the video there. I'll come back and do a part 2. Oh, never mind. I guess I can stick around. Okay, my obligation has been changed. So.
I keep assuming it in trying to prove that
I'm sorry, what am I assuming?
You're assuming it's efficacious.
Well, again, that's because in everywhere else in the Greek New Testament that I see it draw used, it is drawing a sword from a sheath, drawing in the nets, dragging Paul out of the temple. It's being used efficaciously. And in John 6:44, the same him who's drawn the same him who's raised up. It's efficacious there. This would be the one place in Scripture that it's not efficacious if all literally means every single person in the world. But all just means all kinds of men when you look at the context.
I don't agree with you. It doesn't mean all kinds of men, except because your philosophy demands it.
Tell him, Veckel. Tell him.
Yeah, well, Veckel can assert whatever Veckel wants to assert, but that's all he's got. He doesn't have any logical arguments.
So you're saying the drawing here is...
You see how Graham lies so much? I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna fill you in with another lie by Graham too. As a matter of fact, this is one of the reasons why he and I kind of had a bumping of the heads a few years ago, even. But look what he says here first. For those of you not looking at the screen, he's responding to Isaac, and he says, "I'm very respectful to people who are humble, but Calvinists are never humble." That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. The evidence is right here in your face. All you got to watch. If you don't believe me, the humility that Twitchy has practiced throughout this entire discussion, click on the video and watch for yourself. Yes, a lot of you disagree with Calvinism. Yes, a lot of you disagree with the soteriological aspect regarding free will from the Calvinist view. I understand. But you know what? I'm at least happy to see that some of you are at least listening, at least willing to engage in a civil conversation. Okay? And then we can go about our separate ways at the end and say, yeah, okay. I understand your point, Veckel, Twitchy, but, your position just doesn't make any sense. I think you go do your thing. I'm going to go do my thing. I love you, man. I love you. And let's just let bygones be bygones. See, nothing wrong with that. But see, Graham wants to continue to lie, and he thinks it's okay to lie, too. He's going to sit here and say that he's never once encountered a humble Calvinist. That's a lie. That's a lie. Nobody buys that. And maybe the reason why he's never actually... Okay, let's say this. If he's never met a humble Calvinist, which I think is an absolute lie, it's probably because he does everything in his power to avoid the nice ones. That's why. That's why. And so, when I first had a conversation with him, or one of my first conversations with him, he was in a live stream with Kevin, and they were talking about John chapter 1, verse 12 and 13. And we all know what that verse says. John chapter 1, verse 12, 13. I'm not going to bring it up on the screen right now, but it says, "But as many as received him, to them gave he the power to become the sons of God, even to them that believe in his name." He's talking about Jesus. And the them is in reference to believers. Okay? And then this guy is going to turn around and say, not a single Calvinist has ever addressed verse 13 or verse 12. And when I heard him say that, I said, wait a minute, is this a joke? Is this a joke? Because when I heard him say that, I was absolutely astounded. I said, wait a minute, he's got to be trolling. Because Calvinists love that verse. We love John chapter 1, verses 12 and 13. Are you kidding me? Why would he say something like that? Of course we love that verse. Because that's one of the verses that clearly demonstrates the salvific work that God does within an individual that has no part of human effort whatsoever. Why would Grahame say something like that? Why would you lie about something like that, Grahame? Why? Now, when he made that ridiculous comment, I left the side chat. I left the comment on the side chat. And I didn't say anything attacking him directly. I says, I got to be honest, man. I don't know a single Calvinist who is afraid to address those two verses in John chapter 1. And then what was his response? Vekol is a liar and straw manning. And he speaks illogical. You know, all this other stuff he accuses everybody of. And then, next thing you know, I get, removed from the side chat. And I don't remember it. I think I did a video response to it, but it might have been on a previous channel, which got deleted. So I don't know if I have that video anymore. I don't know. But that was one of the reasons why I'm not lying to you. This is the truth. He got mad simply because he faced some sort of opposition. I didn't say anything offensive. I didn't say anything about his mama. I didn't say anything about his breath. I didn't say anything personal about him. I didn't insult him. I didn't say anything. All I said was, I don't think a single Calvinist is afraid to address John chapter 1, verses 12 and 13, which is an actual fact. I don't know a single Calvinist. If any of you know a Calvinist that's afraid, hold on one second. If any of you know a single Calvinist who's afraid to address John chapter 1, verses 12 and 13, bring him to me. Bring him to me. I don't know a single one. I guarantee you will not find one. You will not find one. But Grahame thinks that he does know one. He says he knows many. He has yet to meet a Calvinist to address those two verses, and we know that's a lie because all Calvinists love those two verses. All right, let me go back to the video real quick. Here we go.
Isn't efficacious.
Correct.
Why?
Because he's drawing all.
And you're saying that all cannot be limited in that passage at all.
Well, it could be if you can give me a good reason, but you haven't given me a good reason.
Well, my two reasons was that, number one, the Greeks were, or some Gentile dudes were coming to Jesus to talk to him, and he's letting them know, hey man, I'm about to be drawing all people to myself, not just Jews, but Greeks as well. And because everywhere else in the Greek New Testament it's efficacious, and I have to be like, whoa, universalism's not true because Jesus said people go to hell, so all has to be limited.
Yeah, because you assume that the drawing is efficacious. But if I don't assume that the drawing is efficacious, then the all doesn't have to be limited.
Well, can you show me somewhere that it's not? Other than John 12 where you're asserting it.
I'm not asserting it. You're asserting that it's limited. Because in John 6, it clearly showed the same him who's drawn is the same him who's raised up, and he will lose none. Right, but that's the same him who comes. And you have to assume your Calvinism to reject my view so that you can prove that I'm wrong.
Well, because here's the thing. You're having to read the coming into verse 44. I don't have to. I can just take the verse for what it says.
Oh, good gracious. So you don't want me to show you somewhere else, right? Let's go.
No, I want you to. Go ahead. Show me somewhere else.
You want to argue about John 6? And
somebody got to clip that and turn it into a meme. John 6! Maybe I'll do it. Maybe I'll beat you guys to the punch. Anyway, if you guys want to see the rest of the video, I'm going to play the rest of this clip. But if you guys want to see it uninterrupted, I shared the link on the side chat so you can look at it for yourself whenever you get some free time. I'm sharing this comment here. It says John 1, 12, 13 is a good verse for Calvinists when proving Calvinism. Yes. Now, I don't remember Shepherd's Ambassador. I don't think you're a Calvinist. But the reason why I'm mentioning this, I'm highlighting this comment of yours. Because even if you're not a Calvinist, you have to admit that the Calvinists would love to go to this verse. This would be the stereotypical of one of many. stereotypical Calvinist proof text. Okay? Everybody has their so-called proof text. The Calvinists, the synergists, so on and so forth. Everybody has that particular passage or passages that they'll go to that they think will support whatever position that they might have. Let's just be upfront and honest. Let's forget about the fact that whose position is right or wrong. Everybody has that particular passage. Oh yeah, my position proves serpent seed doctrine. Why? Because of Genesis 3:15, blah 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 blah. Whatever. Everybody has their passage. Okay? So for somebody that's like Grahame to say that no Calvinist ever addressed these two verses in John chapter 1 is just absolutely ludicrous. It's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. It just makes absolutely no logical sense whatsoever. There's not a single Calvinist in the universe who would run from these two verses. We love these verses, especially verse 13. Especially verse 13. My suspicion as to why Grahame even jumped to that conclusion in verse 12 is because of the word received. You know, a lot of non-Calvinists would say, see, receive. As many receive. See, this is how they became the sons of God, because they received them. Yes, we both agree. You have to receive something. But here's where the disagreement comes between the Calvinists and the synergists. The synergists look at the word received as something that is attained through some effort, them making an effort to take something. The Calvinists look at the word received as something that was given to them regardless of whether or not they were making an effort. And we resort to comparing it to childbirth, as we see mentioned in John chapter 3. When you are brought into this world as a baby, you receive life. You did not have a say in it. You did not come into this world, or prior to you coming into this world, you did not say, you know what, I want to be born into as a black man. Although that might be a problem for some people in this world. But anyway, you did not have a decision to be born into a rich family. You did not have a decision to be born as a male or a female. You did not have a say in anything. So we can't even say that you're brought in here against your will either. Okay? Because you didn't come into this world saying, no, I know what that world's going to be like. I don't want to be born. No, you didn't have a say in that either. The life that you have was given to you. You received it. And that is the Calvinist position. That is the way we look at the word received as used in John chapter 1, verse 12. You received life. You receive the power to become the sons of God. The non-Calvinist says you received them after you've made a decision. God granted it to you. You took it. And you received it. You see? That's where we differ. That's where we differ. Okay? You may not like the Calvinist position. I'm just pointing that out. I'm just pointing the obvious difference in interpretation of these verses between the two camps, between the synergists and the Calvinists. Okay? That's all I'm doing. So again, going back to what Shepherd's Ambassador says here in the side chat, those of you not looking on the screen, he says John 1, 12, 13 is a good verse for Calvinists when proving Calvinism. Yes, we could say that. That's fair. Okay? Now, I could probably say the same thing for the non-Calvinists. The non-Calvinists could probably pop up. I could probably think of some passages that the average non-Calvinist would utilize. And I could probably make the same assertion, saying blank verse is a good verse for non-Calvinists to prove synergism or provisionism, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so it can go both ways. Anyway, I just want to point that out. I'm trying to be as charitable as I possibly can while exposing Grahame and his sour attitude towards humans.
About my position.
Wait, just show me somewhere else. That's fine.
John 6 says, "Come."
Don't tell me I'm assuming that the come. The come
Yes.
is right there in the verse.
Yeah, and it says no one can, sir. It says no one can. I don't know why you're getting upset.
You're
Can
assuming
I say something?
That therefore, the drawing. No, you're assuming that the drawing is irresistible. Whereas
Sir.
I'm saying that God is drawing, but it's not irresistible.
Sir, with respect, and I would encourage you to think about this. Have I yelled once? I haven't gotten angry one time.
You said I'm assuming the coming. You said I'm assuming the coming.
You're assuming the coming in between
the verse.
Wait. You're assuming the coming in between the drawing and the raising up. You're saying that they're doing that of their free will. That's being assumed and eisegeted into that text. But here's my point, sir. I haven't gotten angry one time, and here's the reason. Hold on. Here's the reason. Because I know that everything that I have, my salvation, my faith.
Okay, let me stop right there. So that's probably a good thing that he rage quit. I mean, the only thing I could probably applaud Graham here for rage quitting is, listen, if you have a short temper and you know that you do, it's probably a very wise thing to either not get involved in a conversation with another person at all, or to just leave before your temper actually gets worse. So I think that he rage quit. And me personally, I think it's a coward's way out, but that's just my opinion. You guys might have a different opinion. That's fine. He rage quit. But if I'm going to be charitable, I'm going to say, okay, maybe he rage quit because he wants to prevent from doing any disservice to God. He wants to do anything possible to prevent giving Christ a black eye by falsely misrepresenting him with his sour attitude and his short temper. Now, granted, I understand everybody's built differently. Nobody's perfect. Some people in this world have short tempers. That's just something we got to deal with. Okay, that's fine. We have to deal with it. Okay. And depending on your situation, whether you live with somebody who has a short temper or you normally fellowship with somebody with a short temper, you have to observe your Romans 14 right to make a decision on whether or not you want to continue or how you want to deal with this individual. The first thing you should do, besides trying to get out of that relationship, is you should be looking up to the heavens and asking God to give you the grace to deal with these type of individuals, these people who you feel like you're walking on eggshells around. You look up to the heavens and you say, Lord, go in your prayer closet, do whatever you got to do, get some privacy, fast for a few days, and say, Lord, dealing with this individual is real serious to me. I have a real problem with this individual. Lord, I feel that you put this person in my life for a reason. I don't want to blow up on this dude. So, Lord, I ask you, please, I'm begging you, Lord, in the name of Jesus Christ, give me the zeal and the patience to deal with this individual if they must remain in my life for any long amount of time. Lord, if they're going to continue to be in my life, even if it's a temporary amount of time, please, Lord, let me not ask you to get rid of them and to take them out of my life, but rather, Lord, that you would give me the strength to deal with them. And Lord, I also ask that you would work in them patience so that they can be a better ambassador and better representative of you. See, that should be our first prayer as people who are dealing with individuals like this. And I fall short of that in so many ways, so many times. Okay. Now, outside of that, the more practical approach is if you cannot handle being around short-tempered individuals such as myself, like if you're like me and you can't handle being around short-tempered individuals, then the only thing you can do is to stay away from them as much as possible. That's what you got to do. Because people like that are toxic. You don't want to be around. Listen, you're going to get a freaking headache losing hair or even getting grayer hairs prematurely if you continue to be around toxic individuals. People who are always going to make you feel uncomfortable every time they're around. Every time they're around, you got to watch your tongue. You got to be afraid to say hello or to even speak any type of disagreement. Because these type of individuals, they'll put you in an environment where they get to say whatever the heck they want to say. They can say it as many times as they want. They can say it as loud as they want. They can say it in any fashion that they want. But the moment that you get to bring up the slightest bit of opposition, next thing you know, they want to flip their lid and act like you said something about their mom or something like that, or you messing around with their bank account. You know. So, that's just me. You guys are different. Everybody's built differently. Me personally, I can't stand being around people like that. Okay? I don't like being around arrogant people who think that they're better than everybody else. People who make you feel like you're walking on eggshells every time you're around them. I don't like dealing with people like that. I don't. I have a short temper for people with short tempers. Okay? And so this is why I have so much fun doing what I'm doing right now and calling Grahame out. I'm having a great time. You guys having a great time? So anyway, before I open up the room and let people in, I want to take a sneak peek. I want to do two things. First, I want to take a sneak peek at Graham's latest video, calling me out. And then I'm going to take a little break, get some water, drain the main vein. Sorry, too much information. Sorry about that. Then I'll open up the room for people who want to come in. If you're bored out of your mind, you want to talk about the topic or anything else, that's fine. It is a work night for me, so I can't stay on too long. But, you know, I've been wanting to stream for a long time and just haven't been able to get to it. But today I made an effort to do that. So let's do this. We're going to remove this video. Let me share this video. Share the link to this video one last time in case those of you who are just now coming in and you would like to see the video in its entirety, uninterrupted. There you go. There's the link. If you want to see the spurg out from Grahame, you have to start at the 2 hour and 42 minute mark and just take it from there. But just to be fair, you know, watch the whole debate and watch Grahame make an excuse for his crash out at the end. Come! Oh, there he is. He's back here. He says, oh, Smoker, you're such a demon. I never said any such thing. It's the fact that you scum refuse to follow scripture. That is the problem. Attacking everybody. Man, calm down, bro. Dude, you need a Valium. Anyway, so let me cancel this video. You people are satanic. Well, you know what? Grahame, you got your own channel. You can make a video. Go ahead and make another video. You made a video about me already, calling me out of my name, calling me a liar and a coward. Okay? Nobody's afraid of you. Okay? We already had our debate about whether or not Grahame is a synergist. And by the way, if you guys want to see that, just go to my channel. Or you can go to Kevin's Biblical Discussion. That's where the video was originally posted. But I did put up a copy of it on my channel so you guys could go there and check out. And I do prove 100% that, hey, Grahame is a synergist. Not my fault. Anyway, so give me a second here. I'm going to share the other video. Let's remove this. Stop screen sharing. Okay. All right. Okay, we're going to the video called Vekel is a Coward and a Lawyer. All right. It's his video is like 1 hour and 31 minutes. We're not going to play the whole video. I don't even know. Hey, Grahame, since you're here, why don't you give us... Grahame, why don't you hook us up? Do us a solid. I'll give you about a minute to respond. Is there a timestamp that you would like for... No, not tonight. No. Grahame, could you do us a favor? since you're calling us satanic, I want to give you the opportunity to show us a time. Give us a timestamp in your video that you think is pertinent to today's discussion. So I'm going to give you maybe a minute or so. Hurry up, man, because I got to run to the bathroom. But anyway, he said, yes, but probably your interpretation and why you don't organize to have a conversation with me like scripture commands. Listen, Graham, you can't have a civil conversation with anyone. We just clearly seen it here. And we're going to see it in this video. The video that you just posted yesterday. Okay? You are not capable of having a civil conversation with people who disagree with you. There's a difference between being a short-tempered individual and a person who's speaking with passion. You don't speak with passion. You have a temper. And you can't hold that against people who don't want to speak to you if they're worried about you flipping your lid just because of the slightest bit of opposition that comes your way. So how about this, Graham? I'm going to give you another, maybe we'll give you 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Give us a timestamp that you would like for us to examine on your video. We can look at that, talk about it a little bit, make it brief, because then I want to open up the room for people to come in. All right, starting now. So we give about 30 seconds. In the meantime, we'll look at some comments on the side chat. Got Smokey here, brother Martin. What's going on? It's good to see you. So God is drawing and yet falling. God grace is efficacious with his infinite wisdom that makes grace efficacious in saving his people. Graham needs help. He is not easy to deal with. Yeah, everybody says that. We got Smokey says here, we all decided we couldn't do videos on Graham years ago when he threatened to unalive himself. What? For having critiques about toxic. Oh, God. Wow. I must have missed that one. Maybe Graham should ask God to try harder in making grace efficacious for. Ooh, wait. Better watch out, man. That's see now right there, Graham. You could be mad if you were in a debate with brother Martin here, and he said those words to you. I could see you snapping a little bit. I could see you snapping. All right, but again, still, okay. You gotta have tougher skin to deal with people in this community, man. And I understand people are built differently. Some people have short tempers. I understand that. But listen, man, you're on the internet. How many times do I have to say this to everybody? If you can't handle individuals who disagree with you, or even individuals who like to pick on you and troll you, then you have no business existing on the internet. You have no business having a voice on the internet, because there's no way that you can have a presence on the internet and at the same time avoid any type of scrutiny. It's just not going to happen. Anyone who has a YouTube channel and they frequently post videos, whether it's streams or just regular little shorts, you are not going to what are you doing? My daughter's doing some weird dance. You are not going to avoid any type of scrutiny. Heck, even I, as a whatever you want to call me, Calvinist, get scrutinized by other Calvinists. So it doesn't matter who you are. If you think that you're invulnerable to any type of criticism on the internet, then get off the internet.
Are you going to
get it? No, you guys are going by yourself. You have to talk to me about these things before you do. Anyway. Okay, anyway, let me move on. So let me just say it this way. Listen, again, everybody knows if you're going to get on the internet, you got to be prepared for criticism. Just accept it. Deal with it. Even if you are right, deal with it. Deal with it. Okay? Doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. Deal with it. Okay? You're not above reproach. You're not above criticism. Okay, so don't get in here with your sour little attitude just because you face some minor little trivial little bit of opposition. Did you come up with that timestamp yet, Graham? I'm convinced I know him, but I'm not so arrogant to assume I can't be wrong about how I interpret his word, troll. I don't know who he's talking to. But see, your attitude shows arrogance. It expresses arrogance. I'm leaving this demonic deception. What was his last words? Rock off. I remember he said that to me once. It was so unnecessary. So unnecessary. He got so upset. And he completely violated what Jesus commanded people to not do in Matthew chapter 5. What did Jesus say in Matthew 5? Do not say to your brother, Raka. Right now, obviously, Graham didn't say that exact word. But what he said to me that one day sounded almost pretty much like it. He said, rock off. He said, rock off. Does that sound like a man of God? Does that sound like a man who really cares about one's salvific state? Right? I mean, think about it, folks. Again, you don't believe in Calvinism. You don't believe in sovereign grace. Okay? You believe that salvation is attained after a person, or is actuated, let me put it that way, is actuated after you make a decision for Jesus Christ. And so if that's true, then you also have to accept the fact that your behavior could influence the people that are listening to you, the people that follow you. So how are you trying to win me over if you're not even doing even the slightest bit of what Jesus commanded you to do in Matthew chapter 5, which was to dust the sand off your feet and move on? But no, that's not good enough for you. You have to tell people to go rock off. Rock off, Vekel. Rock off. And we know what you really meant to say. We know what you really meant to say. Okay? You know, we're big boys. We know what you meant to say. We're not going to hinder you from saying what you really want to say, but we know what you really want to say. Rock off. Rock off. So Graham, did you really think I was going to let you get away with that? Were you making this video against me, calling me a coward and calling me a liar? You really think I was going to sit by and say absolutely nothing? Especially when your personality, your behavior, your attitude makes it so easy to do a video response. It's so easy to do one against you because you open the door. Ben says, rock on. Anyway. All right. He hasn't gotten back to me. Here's what I'm going to do. Because I don't know where in this video I want to go to start. I'm just going to pick a random eeny, meeny, miny, mo. We think Graham from YouTube needs to go. Okay, here we go. Let alone okay.
How are they as brute beasts? Well, stupidity. Complete lack of moral intelligence. And decision-making based on having a conscience and following the conscience and trying to do what is right. Stupidity.
Rock off.
Right, so he is saying they are stupid.
All right, you know what? Since he's the guest of honor, let's see if we can find a part of the video where he's yelling at the top of his lungs. Let's see if we can find something. I don't know. I didn't watch this video.
Half brother. Sorry, I should be... that ye should show me how, like the Pharisees, they're judged. They're self-rebuke and reprove now, but Calvinists, but there is no logic. Often admit that monogism means exactly what I believe. One worker. Monogism.com admits that whilst trying to uphold the other definition at the same time.
Yeah, see, the thing is that I've already proved in that very debate that he is hijacking the definition of monogism as it's used in the exact website that he went to. Okay? He went to monogism.com, which is a reformed website. It is all things Calvinist. And there is no way, shape, or form that the definition that's provided on that website that asserts what Graham is trying to hijack it to say. So Graham is saying, in other words, God does all the work. All I have to do is just believe. Okay, but the salvific work, the salvific status that I receive is all the work of God. Yes, that's true. But see, the problem is that's not what monergism entails according to the website. Okay, monergism says it's not only that God's salvation is activated by God, but also even the faith that one has in God is also of God. It's not innate. The decision that you've placed in Jesus Christ comes from God. That is what the monergist says. That is what monergism asserts. So we're saying God does everything, including one placing their faith in Jesus Christ. God gives that to the person, and he gives them salvation. What Graham wants to say is, no, God's only giving you salvation. He doesn't give you the faith. This is something that is innate. You have to practice the faith in order to get saved. So you place your faith in Jesus Christ, then God gives you salvation. You can't get salvation from anywhere else. You can't earn it. It has to be given to you. See, now, when we make this proper distinction to Graham, he immediately accuses us of accusing him of teaching salvation by works. And we don't say that. Even the website, monergism.com, does not assert that those who reject monergism do not necessarily reject sola fide. And this has been said to him multiple times, but he doesn't listen. Instead, he'd rather go tell people to go rock off. Rock off. Rock off, Jekyll. Anyway, let's take a few more minutes to find, because I don't know, I haven't watched this video. I'm not going to watch the whole video, but you can see that he's looking at the comments. I just want to, from here, we're just having fun, seeing if we can find a part where he's yelling. Here we go.
Pretending. Remember which one I put this on.
Contradictions of Calvinism exposed.
My slides into two. Opportunity to choose Christ, which is the typical Calvinist straw man. Number of options.
Listen to the hatred in his voice. Gosh, I can't listen to this.
Two options: to rebel or submit to him. He is Lord. We're not choosing him. What stupid language is that? Saved after making the choice. Yeah, that's correct. But you left God out. To his pseudo-philosophy.
There's somebody saying, was it Veckel that didn't show today? Show where? I didn't. Did he invite me to the stream today? I mean, what was the stream? Done a day ago? I didn't get an invite. Anyway, maybe it's because I blocked him. I don't know.
Present a strong argument against God's sovereignty and against God's ability. I have tried to talk to him, Kevin. Kevin, you know that I've tried to talk to him. Why are you putting the blame on me?
Oh. Well. Well. This is interesting. Hold on, let's go back a little bit.
Why are you putting the blame on me?
Let's go back a little bit.
Kevin, in that word fool. Kevin, you are wrong.
Okay, here it looks like, and again, I'm not, trying to embarrass anybody. I love Kevin. Despite our vehement disagreements, he's always making anti-Calvinist videos, but I still love him. I do believe he's a brother. We bumped into each other a couple of times in person. So, we even had coffee and donuts one time. So I have no issues with him whatsoever, despite our vehement disagreements on this one area. So I don't mean to, I'm not playing this video to embarrass Kevin, but it is on Graham's video. He didn't take it down, so I'm going to play it. So I hope Kevin is not offended by me playing this, but this is interesting that we're seeing, and I hate this, man, because, even though I vehemently disagree with both of these guys, the last thing I want to see is them to be torn apart like this, man, because I'm so used to them pairing up together and talking smack against Calvinism. And even though it's cringe, I still didn't want to see this. This is not something I wanted to see. But I think this is warranted, man. Grahame deserves this type of exposure. He deserves this. He needs to get around other brothers and sisters who can hold him accountable and to talk to him about his temper. He needs to calm down. Okay? Remember what Proverbs 16:21 says. I quote this all the time. And you want to know who pointed this out to me? Your favorite remonstrant, Leighton Flowers. He quoted Proverbs 16:21. He says, "The wise in heart shall be prudent, and the sweetness of the lips increaseth learning." What does that tell you, folks? Okay, first of all, I'll tell you what it doesn't mean first. It does not mean that you have to walk around like a sissy and talk like a little, like you're half a fag, and you just let people walk all over you like it's a sort of walking mat. That's not what this verse means. What this verse means is when it's especially the part where it says sweetness of the lips. I know people see the word sweetness and they're thinking of some guy wearing a leotard and dressed in pink. No, this is talking about politeness, avoiding strife, avoiding, in the King James language, debate. Nothing wrong with debate, but that word debate in the King James is talking about strife. If you're going to get into a conversation with someone, it should not be predicated on you looking to fight someone. Okay? Now, it shouldn't be, but sometimes that ends up happening anyway. But again, I think this is sort of an indictment towards the synergists. Again, the synergists with the bad attitudes. Not all synergists. I'm talking about specifically synergists like Grahame. Again, you want people to hear you out? Remember this verse here. The sweetness of the lips increaseth learning. Proverbs 16:21. You want people to hear you? Okay? There's nothing wrong with speaking politely or holding your tongue when you start to get a little angry, or doing what Grahame did. Just rage quit. Abruptly leave the conversation before your flesh gets the best of you and you end up saying something that you'll later regret. Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
You want to drop or not?
I'll be right back. All right, looks like I am gonna have to do a part 2, but not quite yet. So let's go on with the rest of this video here. Then I'll have to stop it. I do apologize.
Oh, her problem is that he's not a careful thinker. Yeah, you can say that again. I have tried to talk to him. Know that I've tried to talk to him. Why are you putting the blame on me? Kevin?
Hello?
Why are you trying to put the blame on me? I should try to talk to him. Numerous times he's a coward and a liar and a scumbag.
Wait, I don't know what you're talking about.
You said I should try to talk to him.
No, I said I should talk. I should try to talk to him. Me.
Oh, go for it.
That's what I was saying. Yes, me.
Right. Well, I have tried to talk to him. The problem is he's not a careful thinker. I should try to talk to him about some of these things. Okay, so you meant you. You weren't speaking generally.
See, now, I disagree with this, Grahame. There are a lot of people in this community who disagree with me on this situation. And we talk about Calvinism over and over and over and over again. In fact, they're the ones always bringing it up. Okay, they bring it up. Just by the fact that I even exist. The moment I enter a room, they'll be talking about something else entirely different. But the moment they see me, Jill, they're the ones immediately bringing up the issue of Calvinism. They all do that. Every last one of them. We don't force it upon anybody else. Well, sometimes Jill, actually, let me retract that. Jill does kind of start trouble a little bit. But usually me, when I'm entering a room, I'm not going to just, stop whatever you guys are talking about. I want to talk about Calvinism now. Okay, I know you're talking about the deity of Christ, but I want to talk about Calvinism, guys. Okay, stop what you're doing. Let's talk about Calvinism. I don't do that. I've never done that with anybody. Okay, it's usually the other way around. It's usually you guys initiating the conversation with me, and it's fine with me. Okay, I haven't yet heard an argument that I think can dismantle the Calvinist view. Okay. But when Graham sit here and says that he's tried to talk to Veckel, well, we've had conversations in the past. We even had moments where we got along. We were even singing hymns with each other. Okay? But then he just goes right back to this sour attitude where he just wants to hate on everybody. Okay? And I don't know about you guys. I'm not going to speak for you. You can speak for yourself. I'm not going to be around people like that. I don't walk on eggshells for nobody. If you're going to be easily tempered by the slightest thing somebody says to you, that's toxic. And I don't want to be around people like that. Maybe some of you guys can handle that. Okay, fine. Maybe that's for you, but it ain't for me. I don't want it. Okay? If Graham really wants to have a conversation with me, he can reach out to me. Kevin has my phone number. I'm pretty sure he's got Graham's number. So he can act as the middleman. Okay? If Graham wants to have a conversation with me, let's do it. Okay? I'm not afraid of coward. I fear no man. I fear no man. Okay? Remember Proverbs 28:1 says the wicked flee when no man pursueth, but the righteous are as bold as a lion. I don't fear you, Graham. I don't fear anyone in this community. Okay, you have nothing for me to be afraid of. So if you want to have a conversation with me, make it happen. Me personally, I'm done reaching out to you because you have a sour attitude. You have a sour attitude. I have no interest in talking to you anymore. I really don't. But if you want to talk to me, I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you. I do that with anybody. There's a small handful of people in this community who I have no desire to talk to anymore. Very, very few. Graham is definitely one of them. Bob is another one. I can't really think of anyone else in this community. I mean, there's a lot of people who I think are freaking knuckleheads. But I enjoy talking to them. I get something from them. But there are other individuals like Graham and Bob who I just absolutely have no desire to talk to anymore. I don't want to talk to them. If they want to reach out to me, I'll talk to them, but I'm not going to reach out to them. I just don't care anymore. I really don't. I don't. It's in God's hands now. Dust the sand off my feet. Move on. You guys go ahead and talk to them. I ain't. Listen to this dude. Smokey's on the side. Vickler has no fear because he can never tell when he's losing. Yeah, says the former Christian here thinks he knows everyone. Thinks he knows everything. It's funny, he comes in here and act like he knows everything. He walks away from Christianity and now he's going to try to correct everybody in Christianity. That's me in the corner. Fine, absolutely amazing. That's me in the spotlight, losing my religion. That's to you, Smokey. Anyway, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to shoot. I got to drop my family off somewhere. I don't know if I should just go in standby mode or if I should just cut it off and then start a new stream later. I don't know. You know what? Let me try something. Let me see. Bill, good to see you. He says, I've had my issue with Graham, but whoever flagged this channel. Wait a minute, his channel is flagged? Is it flagged now? Get out of here. Let me see. That can't be right. Come on. I can't.
Mommy got me.
Oh, that's cool. Wait, what is it?
The little containers.
Oh. For your snacky?
And I'm already finished packing my lunch.
Okay, let me stop screen sharing. Okay, let me do this. 1 second here. I gotta see this for myself. I hope. Okay, so it was done yesterday. Oh, not even. Oh, so the channel is back up. Okay. Oh, yes. So okay. So I must have maybe something temporarily happened to his channel, because I was able to get to his channel today. I'm on his channel right now. Let's see if he's doing any streaming. Okay, he's not streaming anything right now. It's probably because he's busy watching this channel. I'm watching Veckel's channel to see how much of a liar and coward he is. Anyway, why don't we do this? I'm gonna take a little break. I gotta step away from the mic for a sec because I have some. You want to leave in 10 minutes?
6 o'clock.
All right. Oh, okay. So I got a few minutes. So let me step away from the mic for a sec, and I will be right back. We're going in standby modes, folks. Sorry about that, but I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. All right. I have to make a trip to somewhere with my family. I'm trying to decide whether or not if I should end the stream now, or just go into a very elongated standby mode where I might be gone for about maybe 30 minutes. And then once I come back and open up the room, I don't know what you guys think. How about this? Let me put up a poll real quick. Engage in your start a poll. Let me try this. Give me a second. Okay, which should I do? Okay. I think this is my first poll that I put up. Okay, I put a poll up there. Alright, let's see how it works. Look at this dude. Making excuses around. Ooh. Real funny. Okay, why is it? Can you guys see the stream? I mean, the poll? I don't see. I'm only seeing one part of it. Let me see. Can you guys give me a 1 if you guys can see the poll? Because I don't see it. Let me look at my phone. Okay, Peter says he can see the poll. Okay. How come I don't see it? I'm scrolling through the side chat. I don't see it. Anyway, well, as long as you guys can see it, I guess. Okay, because I can't see who's choosing. I mean, I can't see. I don't see the poll at all. What the heck's going on? Bill does it all the time. No problem. All right. Maybe I have some sort of setting. Here's a square here. Open up new window. What's this do? I feel like a boomer. Oh, I need this. I'm looking at a feature that StreamYard provides where you can open up a separate window. Bill says, my polls are predestined. All right. Thank you, Isaac, because I can't see the poll. But he said, as of right now, it's 50-50. I mean, I haven't streamed in a long time, so it's not like I'm going to run out of minutes or anything. All right. Well, you know what? I can't see the poll, so I'll just take you guys' word for it. Let me go outside again. All right. I can only see one part. Oh, okay. There it is. It says, which should I do? End the stream and do a part 2? So far, I got 53% says do a part 2. Oh, now it's back to 50%. Okay. All right, we'll come up. I'll come up with a decision in about 5 minutes. Okay, so if you guys are watching, you got if you have a microsecond, put in a vote on the poll whether or not I should go into end the stream and then do a part 2 later tonight. Maybe in about a couple hours, or just go in standby mode where I might be gone for maybe 30 minutes and then have to leave again, probably in about an hour after that. I don't know. because I know some of you want to come into the room and have a discussion. So I'm seeing some new comments here in the comment section. Let's see. Let's have some fun. I don't want to let people in here just yet because I'm going to have to leave very shortly. So I let you come in, and then all of a sudden I have no control of what might be going on in the room. So I can't do that. All right, now it's back to 50-50. Okay, that's good. Thank you for that, Mac. Let's do this. Let's have some fun and go to the comments section here. Okay, I got Thousand Hills saying, in response to a comment, a post that I put up earlier this evening, he says, "Yeah, so I agree that he is a rabid, mouth-foaming hypocrite against anyone, but not particularly Calvinism." That's true. I would rather you nail this in a general sense. Yeah. That's why I labeled I labeled the title of this video Graham's Damage Control. Yeah, you're probably right. It's not so much that it's just against Calvinism because he does this with everybody. So, and again, this goes right back at you. You gotta chill out with this behavior of yours, man. Listen, if you can't control your emotion, listen. I mean, you can do whatever you want, Graham. If you want to keep embarrassing yourself and giving Christ the black eye with your sour attitude and your short-tempered, well, go right on ahead. You're going to suffer the consequences for doing that. But if you don't want to make any effort to control your temper, then perhaps you just have no business being on the internet, man. Maybe you just need to leave. Internet's not for everybody. I mean, if you can't handle any type of criticism or criticism to your position, whatever it is that you believe, that you have no business being on the internet. Period. Because no matter who you are, you're always going to face some sort of scrutiny, and you're always going to face some sort of trolling. That's just the way it is. Why? Because humans are retarded. If you don't like that, then get off the internet. It's really that simple. Maybe you're not. Maybe you just don't have the. I don't know. You're just not big enough for this community, I guess. I don't know. Maybe this is not for you. Anyway, I got 1 minute left. Let me go check out the polling. All right, so 60% of you right now says end the stream and do a part 2. 40% go in standby mode. Okay. Anyway, let's go back to the comment section here. Dave left a comment too. Shoot, what was the comment? Anyway, I'll respond to Dave, I think. Oh, here it is. He says, okay, let me know and get back to me about it, and we can do it whenever you're ready. Okay, so Dave, I left a comment on Smokey's channel where he's allegedly cooking Toronto, which in my opinion, I don't think it was an actual cooking. I just think Toronto has really, really stupid arguments, and so I don't think it was a cooking. I don't think it was Smokey cooking Toronto. But that's what people on YouTube do these days. They try to get people to watch their videos, give you those clickbaity titles. So Smokey thinks he was cooking Toronto. I believe Toronto lost that debate. But mostly because it was handed to Smokey, not because Smokey is this expert debater, because he has some really, really good points against the doctrines of free grace or anything like that. I just think Toronto he's just a really, really poor debater and a poor apologist of his position, in my opinion. But, to each his own, I guess. If you want to think that, Smokey is your champion against free grace, blah, 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 well, go right on ahead. You're welcome to do that. Listen, I don't agree with free grace either, but there is a lot of overlap. There are a lot of points that I agree with them on. So, I don't know. We'll talk about that another time. But anyway, I left a comment there saying that I think there are stupid arguments on both sides. which I do. Maybe we'll talk about that later. And Dave left a comment saying he would like to have a discussion with me, and whenever we're ready, and he wants to pick my brain to find out what about this discussion that I thought was stupid. And so yeah, I'll definitely talk about that. And you see, Dave didn't cuss at me, didn't come at me like a raging bull. He came at me with the sweetness of the lips. He came at me in a Proverbs 16:21 fashion and asked and invited me to have a discussion. Now, from there, I don't know what the conversation is going to be like. There'll probably be like what you usually see over there. A little bit over talking, some passionate, banter here and there. That kind of thing. That's the way it is on Dave's channel sometimes. If you can't handle Dave, you have no business being on his channel. Okay? So, Dave's channel is for big boys. Okay? If you can't handle it, can't handle the way he is, and then just stop watching his channel. Don't go over there. Okay? Doesn't mean that you have to fellowship with the guy, but, if you can't handle it, either leave the internet or just stop watching his videos. So anyway, I don't have a problem with Dave. I watch his channel every day. Not all the content, but, a good majority of it. So, anyway, yeah, so Dave, if you're watching, yes, I am very interested in having that conversation. We can do that. Hold on one second. Are you guys ready to go? I just got to put my shoes on. Okay. I'll get my wallet, my watch, my cell phone ready. Got to take the family to a show. I'm not going because I don't want to go. They're going to watch some figure skating thing. That stuff's for gay people. I don't want to watch that. No, just kidding. Anyway, Ben says channels for big boys. Like I have to disagree with you on that with a major disagreement. Yeah, well, what I mean by that is like Dave has a reputation, for some of the things that comes out of his mouth. And while I vehemently disagree with some of the stuff that comes out of his mouth, however, I understand that is who he is. Are you ready? Okay, I understand that's who he is. And you just gonna have to leave it in God's hands and wait for God to do something with him. But until then, if you can't handle it, you need to just stop watching his videos, stop going to his channels, But if you can handle it, take him with a grain of salt and just deal with whatever comes out of that channel. Okay? So anyway, it looks like the poll has said 60%. So I am going to have to end the stream, and I will attempt to do a part 2. And I promise you that when I do a part 2, I will open up the stream immediately. So with that said, take care, you guys. God bless.